What does it actually take to succeed in remote sales? And it's detachment, the mindset, the person that doesn't care whether they actually make the sale or not. They're the people that make the real money and the ones that win. And in this video, I'm going to share with you so you can actually implement this in your next call and make more money in a week than you can ever imagine. So, you're struggling right now. I get it. You're stressed. The pressure is coming from your sales manager. You can feel that obviously that detachment on the call is not happening, but you're probably not preparing. You're not preparing to have an actual meaningful conversation. You're showing up to a call. You're bringing an external emotion. You may have just had an argument with your girlfriend. You might have been watching something negative on the news. And then you get on this call, you're distracted. Your phone's on, you've got loads of tabs open on the screen, and you're not truly making that connection. Why? Because you're selling from here. And that's why you keep butting heads with your prospect. You're not selling from the heart. You're not selling from a place of love. Because you know deep down, when you're truly present on that call and you've got no distractions, you know that they're your best calls. You know that you actually have a great conversation. You get the real emotion out. So why can't you do that on every call? And it's because you know that you're not good enough. You know that you're trying to wing it right now. And your skills have only gotten you so far. And you know that to get to these 20, 30, 40K months, you need to do something different. And how do you do something different? By becoming someone different. And you might say, James, well, how do I become someone different? And it's by doing the internal work. It's by letting go of past traumas and emotions so that when you do show up to a call, that little boy inside of you doesn't get triggered when they say no. We should be able to look at objection handling as playful, as fun, because it's okay for the prospect to see the world how they see it. That's their worldview. But if you're going to obviously scrutinize someone because they're saying that they want to think about it at the end, and that frustrates you, then unfortunately, you just haven't done your job good enough. You've not had a meaningful conversation. You don't know the real why of what their goals are. Because I'm going to drop some sauce for you right now. If someone says to you that they want to make 10K a month, they want to lose 20 kilograms, that is not the goal. That is not the goal whatsoever. You need to understand what's actually behind the statement of why they want to make $10,000 a month. So you need to ask emotions like that. Like, James, that's a pretty specific number that you just said, 10K. Like, why do you want to make 10K a month? Like, what would that do for you compared to what you're doing now? Oh, well, that would obviously allow me to have an extra holiday or two with my family. Oh, okay. Yeah, I completely understand. So when was the last time you went on holiday with your family? 18 months ago. And how does that make you feel knowing like, your partner's working hard, your children, haven't been able to have that good quality time with you? Yeah, it's not great. And like, what have you actually been doing to be able to kind of earn more money so you can spend more time, with your loved ones? Now we're getting to a level 2, right? How do we get to that true level 3? Well, let's fast forward, because that's phase 1, right? Making 10K a month, being able to have more holidays with your family. But like, that's not the big goal, is it? What's phase 2? What is it that you actually want? And now they're going to tell you, well, I want to leave a legacy for my children. I want to be someone that's going to be remembered who actually did something different compared to society. I want to be able to create generational wealth. Another label, another statement. Well, what does generational wealth mean to you? Because, well, right now where I'm in Bali, someone making $10,000 is life changing. So how much money do you actually want to make? Because you're only ever going to keep putting zeros at the end. Well, I want to be able to make, multiple 7 figures. Okay. Well, let's say you've got 7 figures now. Like, how would life change for you day to day? like, what would you actually do? Because you do realize, like, money does change people. Like, what is it that you actually want to do with that money? Well, I want to be able to retire my family. Okay, and which family? Well, my mum, my dad, they've done so much for me. They risked it all. Now we're getting to the true emotion. We're getting to that kind of level 3, like what they actually want. Now, when you create this amount of connection, you've stayed away from this surface level 10K, 20K kilograms they want to lose. You're really finding out the real why. So how can you have a cost of an action if you haven't got the true why of what it is that they actually want? Because if you say to someone, well, what happens if you never really get there? Like, is that something you're willing to settle for? How can you say something like that if you actually have no gap? There's no emotion. So this is why you're struggling at the end, because you don't have the courage to go deep enough to find out what they actually want. So when you start getting these kind of surface level answers, you need to be able to have the skill to go deeper and deeper to get to the true root of the problem. So I tell you this, all of your objections are in the discovery in the first 10, 15 minutes. Like, time might come, but you missed it because they're already trying to tell you that they're scared. They're fearful. They're fearful of you. They're even fearful of themselves, the past, maybe the future, because of past circumstances, other programs that they've been in. So when someone says to you like, oh, I just don't even know if I have time, we need to peel that back. That's a statement. So now we need to get them to explain. It's like when you say like, maybe you're not going to have the time, like when you say you don't have the time, you're already reinforcing that into yourself that you're not going to have the time. So like, where's that actually coming from, just to help me understand? And then they're going to tell you, and then you're going to say, well, how many hours do you feel like it's worth actually putting in to this particular XYZ program to help you get the outcome that you want? I don't know, maybe like 10 hours a week. That's a good amount of time. Like, you have to do like 5, 6 hours a week. Can you do that? You're not going to move on until that is completely boxed off. Otherwise, that's just going to come up at the end. You know what? This sounds great. Just get everything sent over to me. And yeah, I feel like when the time's right in a couple of months, we'll get started. So be super present on your calls. Completely detach from the outcome. Start your calls with that leadership. Little line for you. John, appreciate you jumping on the call on time. It's great to see. Tells me a lot already. Think about what you're doing there. You are punctual. So that shows obviously the offer that you're on are punctual. You respect obviously your time. And you said subtly. That tells me a lot already. You're already rubbing their ego, their identity of who they are. So now they have that identity to stay true to throughout that call. So that when you ask certain questions, they are going to open up. And I feel like once you let go of understanding that this is a sales call and it's just actually a conversation, and the deeper you get, the easier it gets. So that when you do get down to objection handling, right? Because look, I get it. You slap $5, $10, $20,000 on someone, there's still going to be that little bit of fear creeps in because they may have never, ever invested that money in themselves before. And that's okay because that's how they view the money that they're going to invest. But we're all there at one time. We all had that uncertainty and that fear. But I'll let you into a little secret. If you have never invested in yourself and you want to get into remote sales, you haven't actually made the commitment. You haven't got that emotional connection to wanting to get the outcome. So how can you actually ask someone on the other end of Zoom to invest $5, $10, $20,000 if you haven't even done it for yourself? So really think about that when you're on a call. And if you are someone that has invested in yourself, I can guarantee you, right? Your throat tracker right here is completely open. When they say that's a lot of money, you've invested
4, 5 figures in your education. So you know that you wouldn't be where you are today, right? So that's why you have the confidence and conviction to be able to ask them to invest 4 or 5 figures in themselves, because you've already done it for yourself. And that there is the biggest golden nugget that you can take from this video. If you think investing $100-$200 a month is going to get you to the outcome that you want, then I'm going to let you into a little secret. Any internal trauma that you've had when you was a young boy or young lady around money, that's going to show up on your calls. You're not going to have the conviction to be able to actually help that person and get them on the line. So if you really want to be a person of service, first of all, learn how to serve yourself and get the right tools so you can help more people.